All right, so we are recording and happy Wednesday, everybody. Today we are going to talk about grape agate. Grape agate. So the cool thing about grape agate is, first of all, it's not even an agate. It's a chalcedony, or some people say chalcedony, but it's a chalcedony would be the proper enunciation for that. Um, Grape agate forms in these super beautiful little grape looking formations, and those are called botryoidals. Those little circles are botryoidals, and they kind of look like little bubbly clusters. Uh, Grape agate comes from Indonesia, and it's actually fairly new to the crystal world. Was discovered and introduced to the market in 2016 from Indonesia, from Maluju, Sulawesi. I'm gonna have to practice pronunciations ahead of time. Noted. Indonesia, in 2016. It is a volcanic rock. So grape agate forms from volcanoes. You do want to be careful when you're buying grape agate because it is one that is dyed a lot to enhance the colors. So if you see a grape agate that's like super purple, it's probably been enhanced or dyed. You want to be mindful of the colors that you're getting. Grape agate is usually kind of got a waxy kind of texture to it. It's fairly soft. It's a 6.5 to a 7 on the hardness scale, and sometimes it's translucent to all the way to opaque where you can't see light through it, and it kind of varies there on the individual piece. Grape agate is really known for its intuition abilities in the metaphysical world. um, it's associated primarily with your third eye chakra, and your third eye chakra, I'm pointing over here. It's because my third eye chakra is out of balance a little bit. So your third eye chakra is also where your intuition comes from, right? And what happens is we want to keep that third eye chakra open and flowing, right? It's the I see. It's the I sees, all the I sees in the world. I see you doing this. I see you doing that. And it very easily moves into the I know. So when you've got the I knows, or somebody's like, hey, maybe you should. And you're like, I know, right? That's a kid teenager response there for you. Um, but that's coming from your third eye chakra being out of balance a little bit. So what grape agate does is, when you've got your grape agate, and you can even just imagine the grape agate, you don't actually have to have a piece of it with you. But what it does is it helps to quiet that down. It helps to calm that down, and it helps you to kind of just relax your brain so that you can start thinking about what is it you're actually looking at. What is the truth of the situation you're looking at? Sometimes that can be hard to see. And so what grape agate does is it helps you to see that. It helps you to hear your own intuition, because sometimes, most of the times, a lot of the times, we don't want to acknowledge that we know, but we do. If you just really can learn to quiet the noise in your head and listen to what that message that your higher self, your inner self is trying to give you, it's there. The message is there. We just have to be able to hear it. And grape agate helps you to calm everything down so you can hear what that message is. Um, you can use grape agate in several different places throughout your home. So you can carry it in your pocket, especially if you're having one of those days where everything in your head is just kind of clustery and a lot going on. You can carry it around in your pocket. You can carry it in your hand. Us girls got a handy little booby pocket right here that we like to stuff things in. Rocks fit in there really good, like a little piece of grape agate. You can stick it under your pillow. It'll help you to kind of gain some clarity overnight while you're sleeping. A lot of people have dreams from it, and not from it, but they say that it helps with their dreams. I'm not really one that has a lot of dreams per se. So that's not really where I notice it. Where I notice it is when I can't make a decision, is really where grape agate comes in for me, because I tend to struggle with decision making. So it's like, well, which is the right decision? Should I do this or should I do that? Right. And when I'm really struggling with that, that's when I'll just kind of sit with my grape agate and just let all that clear out of my mind. And then I can see, okay, this is the right path. This is the way that I need to be going. Um, so it really just kind of helps you to tie into your own intuition. Let's see, sleep and dreams. Yep, we went over that. A couple of affirmations that are super great that go along really well with Great Baggett is I trust my intuition completely. Um, and you don't even have to believe it at first. Because you gotta keep telling your sometimes we gotta tell ourselves something more than once before we really get it, and before we start to understand it, before we start to believe it ourselves. Um, humans are kinda complicated and difficult creatures, and we get set in our mind and are set in our ways, and a lot of times for better or worse, so one simple change, one simple thought process change can make the world a difference, but we're kind of stubborn. So we're like, "Oh no, I think this, and I'm not changing my mind." Um, and now my yeah. So it's really about making those little changes and learning to trust your intuition, and learning to hear your intuition, and learning to hear what you have to say about the situation instead of worrying about what everybody else has to say, because this is your path and your path alone. No two people on this planet share the same path. So we are here to help each other and support each other on each other's own individual paths. And if you're trying to appease everybody that's in your world, and you're trying to make sure that things are going the way that this person wants them to go and that person wants them to go, you're forgetting about the most important person in your story, and that's you. Right. So you've really got to work on getting to know yourself and getting to listen to yourself and understand what your purpose is. And understand that when you're having those feelings inside, they can be all different kinds of feelings. They can be goosebumps. They can be like your stomach just kind of gets a woozy feeling. It can be you get shivers up the back of your spine. It can just be like a thought that crosses your mind. I don't know about this. And we don't if we don't acknowledge that and ask, what is that I'm trying to say to myself right now, then it's really easy to get caught up in what everybody else wants, right? So what you can do with your grape agate is you can really just take that piece of grape agate and you can sit with it, and you can ask it. Rocks are energy, so they operate by our intentions, right? They provide that energy that they are resonating at for our area, and what we want to do is we want to work with that energy. It's a tool. It's not a magic piece, it's a tool. So you want to talk to your crystals. So with grape agate, you want to take your grape agate and you want to talk to it, and you want to tell your crystal, hey, I need help to hear what my truth is. I need to hear what my intuition is. I need to build confidence in what I know and what I say. Can you please help me with that? Can you clear my mind of everybody else's opinions so that they're not affecting my decision? Can you allow me to see what my options are, and what that might potentially look like so that I can make the right choice? Um, and you just sit with it. Just sit with it. However long is comfortable for you. Maybe 30 seconds, maybe 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, just kind of wherever that works for you at. Talk to it and sit with it. We all have our own individual things that we need help with. So you can keep it as generic as you want, or you can get really specific with it and you can tell it, hey, I've got this specific thing happening right now, and I need help to see the truth of what's happening. I need to know what myself and my higher self really wants me to do about this situation, and what is the next right step. How do I proceed? And you can get all the way to the specific details of your specific situation, or you can just keep it broad. You can just keep it generic. Hey, great agate, can you help me to better understand my own intuition? Or, hey, great agate, I'm really struggling. Here's all my problems. Will you help me sort them out? So it's a very calm kind of energy. It's not a pushy energy. It's not a heavy energy. It's a very, very user friendly, not basic, but beginner friendly type of energy. So you can hand a piece of grape agate to anybody and it's not going to cause them any kind of turmoil. So some crystals will do that. Some of the stronger ones, like malachite, you've got to be careful who you hand a piece of malachite to and what mental state they're in already, because malachite can kind of send people on a pretty good spiral that they might not be ready for. So you've got to be careful with that. Moldavite, same way. It's a pretty powerful energy too. Um, quartz quartz is our amplifying crystal. So, say we're using our grape agate and we're working on hearing our inner intuition, right? We're working on just hearing our own thoughts and our intuition. And it's a very calm energy. So, say you want to amplify that. You want that energy to be stronger and you want it to be more, and you want more clarity and more information out of what situation you're practicing right there. That's when you would grab a piece of quartz. Quartz is our amplifier. So if you pair your quartz with your grape agate, you're going to get a bigger amount of energy. More clear information is going to come through. But be mindful doing that, because we're not always ready for bigger and more information. And if you push for too much information before you're ready for it, then you're not going to process it. And you're probably going to take that information in a negative way. And it can then shoot you on a spiral that you shouldn't be going on, because you're trying to go too fast. You're trying to get to the other side of the river when it's flooded and there's no bridge. It's not going to go good. So let's go ahead and wait till the water comes down a little bit and get a bridge built before we go to the other side of it. And so that's kind of where grape agate is super helpful and super handy, because it is just a real calm, steady, let's get to know this and how this process works kind of a crystal. Um, I should have brought some grape agates in here to show you. I didn't. Let's see. Grape agate can also be used for your crown chakra or your heart chakra, because it is so gentle. It just kind of helps soften the edges. Says carry it around. Yep, 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 yep. Pairs beautifully with amethyst for additional support. So that makes sense too. Amethyst is always, always, always a very healing crystal. The energy amethyst puts out there is just, everything about it is healing. And so if you were to combine the two, you're going to get a lot of a calmer kind of spiritual type healing is going to come from that. So that makes sense. Let's see. Says you can use it with selenite for cleansing. Oh, how to clean your grape agate. There's something we missed. So we clean our rocks and crystals a couple of different ways. Um, First of all, we can use moonlight, right? The full moon cleanse and charge. Everybody always talks about that. You hear that all the time. But in addition to being able to use the full moon to charge and cleanse your crystals, you can use the sun. Sunlight is an amazing cleanser. That direct heat from the sun disinfects things even. So you can put your crystals out in the sun to help get them charged and to help them to be charged and cleaned, but you can also wash grape agate. So if it gets dirty, it gets dust on it or whatever, your first attempt is going to be to just kind of use some air spray or something. But if it's visibly dirty, you can wash it. People get so scared to put the rocks and crystals into water, but remember they come from nature. That's where they were formed. So don't be afraid to put it in water, right? You can use your sink, wash it, use a really light, soft toothbrush and kind of scrub it a little bit. It is going to be a little fragile, so don't just, go to town on it. But I mean, you can gently wash it. You can use a mild detergent with it. The key to washing your crystals is making sure they're dried properly. A big, vast range of crystals will dissolve when they're left wet. Grape agate would be one of them. Selenites would be a huge one. Like all your howlites and stuff, they are salt based, so they will dissolve when you leave them wet. Pyrite will actually rot if it stays wet. So it's not that you can't, that's where that don't get your rocks wet comes from, is you want to make sure that you're properly drying it. So don't wash it and then go stick it in a cabinet, because it's going to sit there and that water is going to do some things. It's going to cause some problems. It's going to dry. And so if you think about water spots, what is a water spot? It's where the water has evaporated and it's left a calcium deposit. So that calcium deposit you're now leaving on that crystal, right? So now you got to figure out how to get the calcium off. Well, you can use vinegar, but if you use vinegar on calcium, guess what? Calcite is made of calcium. So you can't necessarily always use vinegar to clean your crystals. So really, soap and water, mild soap. I use Dawn dish soap, and just some warm water and a soft toothbrush, and make sure you dry it good. Now, my more fragile, intricate pieces like grape agate, I would take those and use the hair dryer. Make sure it's dry all the way, because it's got lots of little cracks and crevices and stuff in there. So just kind of dry it off. Um, Smoke is another way to cleanse and charge your crystals, right? So smoke actually is very cleansing. You can use sage, you can use lavender is another good one. You can use Palo Santos wood is another good one. Um yeah, full moon charging, handle with care. They are delicate. Okay, so here's a couple questions and answers. So, will it help with anxiety? Okay, this is a common question, and here's the real answer. The real answer is it's a tool. It's not a solution. So, if anxiety is a problem that you have, then grape agate can help you learn to work with that problem so that it is not affecting you as much on a day to day basis. Grape agate can't fix the problem for you. You have to fix that problem. And we fix those kind of problems with a lot of inner work and self work on ourselves and how we react to our environment and all the different situations that we're presented with from day to day. So, if you get a piece of grape agate and you carry it around with you, is it going to fix your anxiety and make everything go away? It's not, guys. It's really not. Um, but if you really want to work on your anxiety and you want to make it where it's more doable and usable for you in your life, then grape agate can help you achieve that if you're putting in the work. It boosts the energy around you so that you can put in that work and you can do it with more clarity and feel more supported and comfortable and safe while doing that process. So, can it help? Yes, but is it the solution? No. Another good question that we get a lot is, can you sleep with it? You can sleep with all your rocks and crystals. All of your rocks and crystals, you can sleep with them. My husband frequently gets annoyed with me because he gets jabbed by some random rock or crystal I've drug into the bed with us. He'll wake up in the middle of the night and he'll be like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, that looks like a piece of grape agate." And he's like, "In my bed?" And I'm like, "Yeah, where else would it be?" And he's like, "Oh my God, here." And he puts it over on the dresser, you know? And so you can take any of them to sleep with you. So what you have to remember is that rocks and crystals are tools, okay? Um and what resonates with you is going to be what is of the most importance. So if you are a person that says these rocks and crystals can't help me in any way at all, then guess what? They're not going to. All right. Because you've done told them, I don't believe you work. All right. Well, if you don't believe in them, they're not going to believe in you either. So you got to pick your own belief system and what you think is going to work. And through all my years of studying and studying past life regressions and studying Akashic record readings and studying crystals and everything, um, that's one thing that's come up a lot, very consistently from people of all different religious backgrounds and all different thought processes and belief systems. That really surprised me a lot was that your beliefs make your reality. Right. So if you believe you're going to die and go to hell and it's going to be the worst, most horrible thing ever, when you die, you're going to experience that. That's not necessarily where you're ultimately gonna end up, but what you believe very much determines your reality. And so if you don't believe rocks and crystals are gonna help you in any way, shape, or form, they're not. If you believe they're going to help you, they absolutely will. And they are there to provide that extra boost in energy and that extra support to help you through whatever it is you're working to go through. And I think that pretty much covers everything we have to cover about grape agate. Let me go grab a couple pieces real quick.